థ్యాంక్ యూ సునీత గారు, నాకు ఈ అవకాశం ఇచ్చి ఈరోజు నన్ను ఈ బుక్ లాంచింగ్లో ఐఎమ్ బుక్లో మరి లాంచింగ్ కోసం రమ్మని చాలా రోజుల క్రితం నాకు ఈ టైం ఇచ్చినప్పుడు ఖచ్చితంగా అటెండ్ కావాలి, ఏదైనా అసెంబ్లీ ఉంటుందా క్యాబినెట్ ఉంటుందా అని టెన్షన్ ఉండే. కానీ ఇప్పుడు కూడా సీఎం గారు మీటింగ్ తొందరగా క్లోజ్ చేసుకొని ఈ మీటింగ్లో రావడానికి నాకు చాలా చాలా సంతోషం అనిపించింది. అందులో మీరు కాబట్టి సో మీకు స్పెషల్ థ్యాంక్స్ తెలియజేస్తూ ఉన్నాను. మీలాంటి వారి యొక్క లైఫ్ చాలా కరేజింగ్ లైఫ్ కాబట్టి అందరికీ ధన్యవాదాలు. అదేవిధంగా మేడం జెన్నిఫర్, అదేవిధంగా అమిత్ గారు, ఇంకా బాలంబ మేడం, నాకు చాలా రోజులు తనకు తెలియదు ట్రీట్మెంట్ ఇచ్చింది. ఒకప్పుడు ట్రీట్మెంట్ తీసుకునేది వచ్చి నేను ఇక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి సునీత కృష్ణన్ గారి యొక్క అభిమానులు, ఆమె ఫైటింగ్లో మరి సపోర్టుగా ఉన్న మీ అందరికీ, పత్రికా మీడియా సోదరులకు, వారి కుటుంబ సభ్యులందరికీ కూడా హృదయపూర్వక శుభాకాంక్షలను ధన్యవాదాలు తెలియజేస్తూ ఉన్నాను. అందరూ అంటే ఒకరి గురించి డిస్కస్ చేయాలంటే ఫస్ట్ వాళ్ళ పాస్ట్ గురించి డిస్కస్ చేస్తారు, అదే ఫస్ట్ ఎప్పుడు తీసుకొస్తూ ఉంటారు. బట్ సునీత అలా కాదు. సునీత నాట్ ఓన్లీ సర్వైవర్ అండ్ సేవియర్ కూడా. ఆమె ఎంతోమంది జీవితాలకు ఒక దారి చూపించి ఒక ఫైటర్గా మన ముందు నిలబడింది. కాబట్టి అప్పటి నుంచి నాకు చాలా ఏళ్ళ నుంచి తన గురించి గొప్పగా తెలుసు. ఒక లెఫ్ట్ భావజాలం నుంచి వచ్చినాం మేము కాబట్టి ఇలాంటి ఫైటింగ్స్ స్టోరీస్ ఎక్కువ చూసేదాన్ని. నేను కూడా చాలా ఏళ్ళ క్రితం నుంచి పరిచయం, కానీ దగ్గర నుంచి ఎప్పుడు కలుసుకునే అవకాశం, చూసుకునే అవకాశం రాలేదు. బట్ ఆమె ఫైటింగ్, ఆమె భావజాలం, ఆమె థాట్స్ అవన్నీ కూడా నాకు చాలా ఇష్టం. కాబట్టి ఈరోజు ఎట్టి పరిస్థితులలో ఈ ప్రోగ్రాంలో ఉండాలని నేను రావడం జరిగింది. ఈరోజు చాలామంది కొన్ని ఇన్సిడెంట్ జరగడంతో మన లైఫ్ ఏదో అయిపోయింది అనుకుంటారు, కానీ స్ట్రగుల్ అక్కడి నుంచే స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. అక్కడి నుంచే మన లైఫ్ను ముందుకు ఎలా తీసుకుపోగలుగుతామో ఒక స్ఫూర్తిదాయకమైనటువంటి లైఫ్ స్టోరీ ఇక్కడ మన ముందు సునీత గారు ఉంచారు. షాహీన్ అనేటువంటి అమ్మాయిని సేవ్ చేసి మరి ఉమెన్ ట్రాఫికింగ్లో కానీ, ఈ అమ్మాయిల మీద జరుగుతున్నటువంటి వేధింపుల విషయంలో కానీ ఒక్కొక్కసారి అధికార నిర్లక్ష్యం ఉన్నప్పటికీ ఎంతో పట్టుదలగా, ఎంతో పోరాట స్ఫూర్తితోటి వాళ్ళ కోసం నిలబడి ఈరోజు జాతీయ అంతర్జాతీయ ప్రముఖుల, ప్రభుత్వాల దృష్టిని కూడా ఆకర్షించగలిగిందంటే తను చేసినటువంటి సేవ, ఫైటింగ్, అదేవిధంగా తనలో ఉన్నటువంటి ధైర్యం. కాబట్టి వారి జీవితం మా అందరికీ స్ఫూర్తిదాయకం. తప్పకుండా మనమందరం ఆమె పోరాటంలో, ఆమె ఆలోచనలో భాగస్వాములై ఆమె నడుపుతున్నటువంటి ప్రజ్వలను ఉజ్వలంగా వికసించి మరింత ముందుకెళ్లే విధంగా మేమందరం ఎప్పుడు సపోర్ట్గా ఉంటామని తెలియజేస్తాం.
ధన్యవాదాలు మంత్రి గారు. ఒక పోరాట యోధురాలు మరొక పోరాట యోధురాల గురించి చెప్పడం చాలా ముచ్చటేసింది. మీకు ధన్యవాదాలు. అలాగే I request children of Sunita ji from Prajwala to please come onto the stage and felicitate our esteemed guests. I'd like to call Shravanti, Nazia.
Of today's function, Honorable Minister Seethakka garu, other distinguished guests sitting on the dais, good evening to all of you. In fact, my association with Sunita goes back to 2004 when I was in Hyderabad. And since then I've been associated with her. She's an open book to all of us. The moment we saw that these three words, which is, I think, it's so apt defined her personality: survivor, fighter, crusader. We need not to expand this. She walks through all these three words every day and night. We are very fortunate, I would say, that as a police officer, that a person of like Sunita's stature, her character, her everything, her entity, whatever, she has such a good support to the civil society. We all need such kind of people in the system who can collaborate with all the stakeholders for the good cause of any good cause, maybe for the society, for people at large, anything. So I wish Sunita, and I would request all of to contribute to support Sunita and her institute for the good cause. And I'm so blessed that today I'm here in her book launch function. And I wish her all the best in her future endeavor. Thank you.
Good evening, and welcome all. We have had the privilege of working with Sunita and Prajwala for a few years actually, and she was one of the first people that I was introduced to when I arrived here about a year and a half ago. And I've had the real honor of going to Prajwala and to seeing in person the amazing work that she has done herself as an advocate and a survivor for victims of trafficking, which is one of the most horrible crimes that we see here. She has been recognized by the State Department as one of our tip heroes. A tip hero for us is a champion of human dignity and decency. Survivors are government leaders, law enforcement officials, social workers, and we were so pleased to have honored her with this. On a personal note, she has become a friend to me, and I feel extremely blessed to have had conversations with her about what she's doing, how she's doing it, and the success that she has had. It's really something that is just remarkable, and the lives that she has saved and the young girls and boys that she has given home to is just nothing short of inspirational. So I myself am very honored to be here and asked to say just a few words. Sunita, you're amazing. Thank you.
The chief guest of today's function, the Honorable Minister for Women Development and Child Welfare, the Consul General, the dignitaries on the dais and distinguished audience. At the outset, Sunita, let me thank you for this opportunity to be here as part of this evening's event. Sunita and I have known each other for close to a quarter of a century. That is ever since I was Principal Secretary, Women Development and Child Welfare in the government of Andhra Pradesh. So I think I can claim to have a ringside view of her struggles, her heartbreaks, her frustrations, and certain events which border on the supernatural. And also her mission and the passion that she brings to the cause to which she has dedicated her life. But as I was telling her the other day, the reading of her memoir has been for me a voyage of discovery in some ways. The spoken word has a lot of power, but I feel that the written word has infinitely greater power. And for me, it's while reading that things really soak in. And events which I knew about, when it is reduced to writing with all the minute details, it takes you to a different level of experience. And that is why I felt that this book, after reading it, is a voyage of discovery for me, although I know Sunita very well. In life, there are certain defining moments, certain moments which change the course of the narrative forever. And today I'll be reading certain excerpts from chapter 9, which actually talk about the inflection point in Sunita's life. It may take me a little longer than the 5 minutes that you allotted me, but I hope you'll bear with me. Okay? This was mid-1996. The Miss World pageant was set to be held in Bangalore. Lakhs of tourists were supposed to land in the city for the 20-day event, which would end on 23rd November. The lodges and the women inhabiting them had risen in anticipation of the flood of tourists at the time. and the corresponding increase in demand for paid sexual services. This was the first time I saw how prostitution was directly connected to tourism and other industries and events of activism, and was arrested, remanded to judicial custody, and incarcerated for 24 days. The family, which had stood by her solidly in all the difficult and trying circumstances of her life, was missing. And there she was without a change of clothes. And the kind of isolation, anger, anguish, pain that she felt is very palpable through this chapter. And I'm sure the family could not have done anything else, because they may have been clueless as to how to respond in a situation like this. But this phase of rejection was really the launching pad for Prajwala and for the journey of Sunita Krishnan in Hyderabad. So that was the main reason why I chose this. And we find that every time life knocks her down, she bounces back with a resilience and is able to take learnings from every situation and walk with her head held high. And that is the whole, that is what this whole book is about. So, and
Honorable Women and Child Development Welfare Minister Seethakka ma'am, CG Jennifer Larson, author of this book, I Am What I Am, Padma Shri Dr. Sunita ma'am, all the dignitaries on the dais. First of all, my apology for joining the program at last moment. I'm going to read this chapter, number 29, Why Positions Matter. Just because, not that I got involved with Sunita ma'am while rescuing these kids, but after the rescue also, since the things are not at mood, so I'm reading this para first and then I will interact for a few minutes. A crime is a crime, no matter who commits it. In 2018, 36 children, the youngest being 3 and the oldest 11, they were rescued from the small pilgrim town of Yadgirgutta and admitted to Asthanivas. These children had been kidnapped when they were very young and were now being groomed for prostitution by a group of women from the Domara community who practice prostitution as a way of life. Many of the children were given hormonal injections and had been sexually abused. Practically, all of them had witnessed sexual acts as a part of the grooming and training. The massive rescue operation was led by me and my team, and the High Court had taken suo motu notice of the case. Court-ordered DNA tests were done, and none of the women claiming to be the mothers had any biological connection to this child. A high-profile human rights lawyer was representing the alleged kidnappers in the court. Thanks to her legal acumen, the case has been dragging on for years now. Even though charge sheets were filed years back, the trial has not yet started. Do keep in mind that we are talking about children here, and the law mandates speedy trial within a year. In the interim, a few organizations held a press conference accusing us of separating mother and child. For the last 5 years, not a day has gone by without some talk about this or that organization planning to submit complaints against us to statutory bodies regarding these children. This is a matter of 2018. I was Commissioner of Police Rajakonda. One day, our children helpline 1098, they received a call that in school uniform, few girls are crying inside the house. House is locked from outside. So immediately our C team with the Yadagirgutta local police, they raided that house. They rescued those girls, and on their information, the rescue operation was continued for 2 days. We rescued 36 children from the age of 3 to 13. After rescuing them, immediately there was the media, many items were there, and someone told that the few adolescent girls above age of 11 plus, they are being given the hormone growth injections. These injections are given to the cattle, the milking cattle, to get more milk basically. And the nearby we found one RMP doctor. We raided that doctor's clinic also, and we found couple of such hormone growth injections with him. A separate case was registered against that doctor. There were 22 cases under Protection of Child from Sexual Offence Act filed against those traffickers there. The women came forward from those brothels and they started claiming these are our children. Matter went to the High Court. High Court started monitoring these cases. On the order of the High Court, all these girls, along with the so-called biological mothers, they were tested in the NIMS hospital here. And except 3, none of the child found the parentage link in those brothels there. After that, we filed a charge sheet. We have investigated those cases properly. Few of the girls were shifted to the Prajwala home above 6 years. Younger than that, they were taken to the Shishu Vihar in Nalgonda. After that, what happened? The Child Welfare Committee, one day the chairman of the Child Welfare Committee, along with the trafficker brothel keeper, he himself came to the Prajwala home demanding that show these children to these so-called mothers. The things were moving like that. One day when human rights lawyer, she filed a petition against a trial being going on in Bongir court and Nalgonda court and brought a stay order from the High Court. Still we are fighting in the High Court for the steady trial in those cases. In spite of all the evidence in hand, still the legal battle is going on. These are the same brothels where 2005 and 6, I was the superintendent of police in Nalgonda. One day I visited Yadagirgutta police station. My people told me, sir, this area, there is a red light area. And in that area, they are supplying the diesel to the police station for the generator. So this was the situation there. I discussed with the district collector. GOMS number 3, I think Mini Matthew ma'am is here. So ma'am only has brought that GO. Yeah, ma'am. Yeah. So ma'am has brought that GO. I found that GO in 2005, very handy. I have taken that GO and went to collector. And I have shown this GO to collector. Every month, collector should conduct meeting regarding this trafficking issue and requested him to organize a meeting with all the stakeholders. We organized a meeting and the project Ahasra was designed to rescue these women from the brothel and take action against the trafficker. At the same time, the children, we should start a bridge school from them 24/7 so that the children should go to the school. 2 girls we found, they were 10th standard pass. We offered them home guard job after giving them 3 months of soft skill training. One of the girls challenged me In 2005, I'm talking. She challenged me that whatever we are giving her, the home guard remuneration, she can earn it in 1 hour on a day. And she left that home guard job, went to Karimnagar. And after 2 months, again she returned back. I said, what happened? No, sir. The dignified life what you are giving, we can't buy through money. That was her. For 2 years, this project was going on well, 90% prostitution we controlled. After that, I left. I came to Hyderabad. In our department, sorry to say, we always have predecessor-successor syndrome. So the things again were back to zero, 2016. Again, I become the commissioner of police, and one of the zone in my jurisdiction was the same area, this Rajkot. So I was knowing that problem again, it is there, and we have to act swiftly. So that raid, after conducting that raid, we have closed down those brothels. There is a provision in Immoral Traffic Prevention Act, 1956. That act came, and the act, that provision, you can close down the brothel for 3 years if the brothel is running with the minor children. And as per that section 18 of Immoral Traffic Act, none of the criminal and civil code you can go for appeal once the closure down orders are given by subdivisional magistrate or the commissioner of police, who are having the power of additional district magistrate. So under that, we closed down those brothels. We also booked those traffickers under Preventive Detention Act. And after that, then when these cases came for trial, still we are fighting that trial should get completed. Whatever happens in the trial, let us see in the court of law. But trial is not happening. This is the situation today. Many cases, we work together since 2004. Prajwala and I am in person or as organization head, as the Superintendent of Police of Women Protection Cell, 2007. The first anti-human trafficking unit in country was formed in Hyderabad. Now you can see every district in country, we are having the anti-human trafficking unit. That time we rescued girls from Bhiwandi, of Thane, Mumbai, from Delhi brothels, from Bangalore, from Goa. Many places we went and rescued our Telugu girls, brought them, and we have done the ideal rehabilitation. And we have also jot down those best practices, the SOPs, through the Ministry of Home Affairs and United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, and they are available online. You can go through that. After that, in 2016 onwards, in Rachakonda, I will just narrate one story and I will stop here. One day, madam called me that one of Prajwala's counterpart in Bangladesh, that lady called ma'am, saying that one 15-year-old girl got eloped with a boy from Bangladesh, and right now that girl location is Hyderabad. What available was only one mobile number. So we got the full information. The information was this girl got some missed video call. So as a curiosity, she called back. That boy pretended that he's a wealthy boy and loving her. Let us run away from here. We go to India. Lot of prosperity will be there. This boy brought that girl to Bangalore. For 1 month, they were staying like a husband and wife. After that, he sold her to a brothel keeper in Vijayawada. That girl came to Vijayawada. In Vijayawada, the brothel keeper lady and her son, they were having a couple of such small girls, and they were running brothel there. Plus, this boy was also having a YouTube channel. Through YouTube channel, different program, he was attracting young girls, giving them some junior artist kind of job. And couple of girls were also from Hyderabad. This girl finally got sold to Hyderabad. She came here. The couple was from the West Bengal.
First, hello Prajwala. Majority of the team is here. Thank you for the help. I could see a tall, well-built man in his late 30s looking at us. As we walked towards him, my vision began to blur. Everything went fuzzy. Superimposed on that was an image of this man running towards me with a child on his shoulder. I blinked in surprise and realized I was standing right in front of him. Lizzie introduced him to me as Brother Jose Vetticartel, the director of Boys Town. As soon as we spoke, I felt as if I knew him from before, and by the easy way he interacted with me, I sensed he also felt the same. The connection was instant and felt deep-rooted. Brother Jose accompanied us to the booth. I did my work in a daze. He then invited us for tea, and we followed him to the refectory before getting back. I had to check that word thrice. I wasn't sure what it meant. The entire affair lasted less than 30 minutes, but I knew something profound had occurred. I'd met someone who would be one of the greatest influences in my life. Just one more para to add a little bit of cheer in your lives now. By this time, I was good friends with Brother Jose. Our close camaraderie had me calling him Joetta, a confusing word in Malayalam used to address both brother and husband. I would readily accept Joe's invitations to visit him on Sunday, which allowed me to spend time with him and to indulge in a luxurious bath in their guest room and wash my hair to my heart's content. She had very long hair once upon a time. Boys Town therefore became a favorite hangout, and I tried hard to make it a weekly affair. Unfortunately, I wasn't very successful, so lice became my constant companion. Thank you.
But reading this book made me such profound connection with you. So thank you so much for writing and giving this opportunity for all of us to just engage with it. Your stories made me cry. Your stories made me laugh. Your stories also made me deeply hopeful and inspired as well. So thank you again for that. So friends, we'll spend the next 30 minutes really unpacking some of the key themes from the book, and hopefully this will help you to feel a lot more inspired to read this book. For those of you who have not read the book, for those of you who have already read the book, I hope that this will help you peel a lot more layers from the book. So let's just kick off, Sunita ji. So just wanted to understand, how did the seeds get planted for you to write the memoir, and why this name, I Am What I Am?
Vignesh, before I answer your question, namaskar to everybody. I wanted to acknowledge a few things before I start. First of all, Green Park Hotel. To this august audience, I want to tell, this is the first hotel which supported my work. ఏమి లేన టైంలో, ఒక రూపాయి కూడా లేన టైంలో ఈ హోటల్ బెడ్షీట్స్ ఇచ్చి, బాసన్లు అన్నీ ఇచ్చి, మా ఫస్ట్ హోమ్ 97లో సెటప్ చేయడానికి గ్రీన్ పార్క్ హోటల్ వాజ్ ద వన్ హూ సపోర్టెడ్. సో ఐ వాంట్ టు థ్యాంక్ గ్రీన్ పార్క్ హోటల్ ఫ్రమ్ ద బాటమ్ ఆఫ్ మై హార్ట్. And that is for that sentiment alone, I thought I should have the book release in this hotel. I also want to acknowledge our very beloved minister, Seethakka garu. I admire her. I have been in love with her for many, many years. Ee roju avakasham dorkindi amma mee daggara maatladaniki, daggaraga kalvadaniki naaku chaala santosham, chaala abhimanam. I have seen your struggle, and I'm extremely proud that you are our minister today. We have great hope from you. I want to thank my dear friend Jennifer. Jennifer and the US Consulate of Hyderabad has been a partner, collaborator, supporter, and much more than that, a conscience keeper for the anti-trafficking movement for us. So thank you, Jennifer. But this audience, I don't want to take everybody's name, then it will become only Namavali. I'll be only taking names, but there are collaborators, there are partners, there are friends, there are co-workers, and my children, many of them who are here, children whom I have brought up in my life, and today they stand here as doctors and masters in pharmacy and all. Extremely proud of you, my andarki. I want to also acknowledge my life givers. I've been beaten up several times, and many people have stood by me. Dr. Mohan Reddy is here, who has given me back some amount of my hearing, somebody who has never charged 1 rupee from me. I had lung cancer. Dr. Chinnababu is here, who brought me back to life. I have everybody sitting here are people who have given me immense amount of love. And I can't, there are no words to express my gratitude to each one of you all for being here, for supporting me. So I want to finish that sentiment part first.
Absolutely.
Before
I mean,
I start on
It's fascinating,
why
just the community that you're
yeah,
building.
yeah, this is, I'm so blessed. But coming to why I wrote the autobiography, I think two things happened. One was my father's death. So my father was a home guard, and then he worked up the rung and became officer in command, finally. His one dream was his autobiography should be there. He had to write his autobiography. So he went on and on about autobiography, his autobiography, not mine. So somehow, 2 months before he died, we got that autobiography done. We self-published it. We took a picture and all. Exactly 2 months later, my dad died. So when he died, on the 11th day, for his memorial, I distributed this autobiography to everybody, whoever came for the thing. Everybody, every single person who took that thing said only one thing: "Oh my God, Raju Krishnan was so great. How great work he did. My God, we didn't know he was so great." That was my first trigger. I don't want this to happen to me. Like my ghost hearing how great Sunita Krishnan was. You know, whatever you have to tell about me, whether I'm great, whether I am horrible, tell me now. And therefore, this book came out from that trigger. The second incident, of course, was a month later when some weird characters from the Bollywood industry called me. They said they are going to make a biopic on my life. So I said, biopic? Are you asking me to give you my story? No, the story is all ready. You just have to give your consent. I said, how can my story be ready when I have not told anybody my story? And he said, no, everything is there. We have taken it from Google. Whatever story we got, we have put it there. That I said, I'm sorry, I'm not ready for it. Please hold. Then I spoke to my husband. And I said, Rajesh, I don't know what are these people talking about Google. He said, go and see YouTube. Everybody has written a biography about you. So I went to YouTube and checked all weird stories about me. Thread is the same, but everybody has their own interpretation. That is when I decided that I am going to write my story, my truth myself, and nobody can interpret what I am. My truth, I will put it in my own way. Having said that, I wrote this book in 13 days. All of 13 days, that's it. And when I started writing, I put the name as Being a Survivor. I'm answering all your questions together. So I called it Being a Survivor. So once I finished, I spoke to a few friends and I said, my name of the book is Being a Survivor. And everybody said, no, you're not a survivor, you're a fighter, you're that, you're this. Suddenly I'm saying, why do I want to be in anybody's dabba? Everybody wants to put me in some box, and put it there and label me and, fix me there. I don't want to be in any label. I am what I am. I may, with my weakness, with my vulnerability, with all my eccentricities, maybe I'm strong, maybe I'm weak, whatever it is, I am what I am. That's all. I am what I am for you.
And it so beautifully reflects in the book as well, just the vulnerability and the authenticity with which you've written the book, just fascinating. I'm curious to know, how did your staff and, girls react to the book? Any interesting comments or anecdotes from that you want to share?
I don't think any of them have read it. I think everybody is holding the book and keeping it as if it's a souvenir that they have to treasure. I don't know how many of you read, how many pages. All the staff are here, only some of them. I think they will finish it in a year, slowly, step by step.
Hopefully and when we do another interaction, we'll get to know what they have.
I know many people have bought the book and holding it like, some major exhibition item that they have to store and keep it as a, safekeeping. I urge you all to please read it.
Sunita, you started talking about your father, and I'm curious to, know a little bit about your growing up days. What was some of the formative experiences that shaped you as a person that you are today?
I think I was a little different child. I was born deformed. My leg was turned backwards at a cleft foot. I was in a plaster for many years. And I behaved differently. I was not like a normal kid. I behaved extremely wise and bigger than my age. So I think very early in my age, I was called grandmother, talking big, big things and, giving advice, what is right, what is wrong, and all that stuff. I think also very early in life, I understood my height is my advantage. Standing number one, I have to be number one. So I became a great achiever. I had to stand first in the class. I had to stand first in dancing. I had to stand first in singing. So first became a little bit of a obsession for me. I also had this deep, feeling that my life is not for myself. And so in the beginning, I taught dance to special children. And then by the age of 12, I think I started teaching in a small literacy school that I started, a tutorial kind of thing for dropout children. And I had over 100 children in my school. It is, I think, in my teens that I became high achiever, very well known, extremely famous. And every family in my colony wanted a daughter like me. It's only when, at the age of 15, when I got gang raped, that I was up there, on top of the, tree, in terms of peak of my achievements, that I fell down and went down, maybe under the patal also, So I think my childhood was not just about seeing the heights, but also seeing the lows. And I'm lucky that I saw it before 18. I saw both of that.
And it's interesting that, a lot of, like you said, a lot of people who must have read about you on Wikipedia or Google would probably know you as somebody who has been fighting against violence, sexual violence. But reading this book made me reinforce just the number of roles that you have played. From a child to now, even your fascination for movies, that's something that...
That's why I'm asking for an Oscar, not for a Nobel Prize. I only want an Oscar award, not a Nobel Prize at all.
Great. I want to segue to, one of the themes that I wanted to explore, and let me start by reading a few lines before I